Hello, I'm Carolyn Bupert with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you're watching or listening to our video Voters Guide, or you may be listening on podcast. We're here to talk with candidates running in the November 5th general election. We're grateful for the support of the Carol and Belma Sailing Foundation, the White Weiss Foundation, the League of Women Voters Education Fund, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. I'm here today with Mike Marshall, who is running for City Council in Portland, District 2. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, Carolyn. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running.
My husband and I live in Irvington and have been here for about 12 years. And I'm running for City Council because I love Portland. We made a home of it 12 years ago. We intentionally came here, and we're just in love with the city. But we're not in love with the fact that we have neighbors living on the street and squalor and addiction. Our parks don't feel safe, and people are not as excited about Portland as they used to be. And so I'm also a person in long-term recovery from addiction. I will celebrate 17 years clean and sober, God willing, in January. And for the last 7 years, I've been running an organization called Oregon Recovers, which I co-founded, which is about promotes addiction policy and addiction recovery policy. And so I have both a policy expertise and a lived experience expertise relative to addiction that I think the City Council could really benefit from because it's such an underlying issue for all of the many issues that Portland faces.
What are your ideas for working productively with the other council members from your district?
Well, I'm also running because I'm really excited about the fact that we are reinventing our democracy here in Portland, and that we're going to have a professional legislative body to make financial decisions, but also do oversight, do real legislative oversight, which hasn't happened, and do real constituent services. My goal is to lead from behind. I'm not, I don't have a political career in mind at this point. I'm 62 years old, and so there's going to be some really terrific up and coming policy folks that get elected. And I want them to sort of take the bully pulpit and shine. And I'm much more concerned of making sure that our new system works and presents itself as working to the voters, because I think we have a small window in which to demonstrate that this new experiment makes sense. And so I want to lead from behind, make sure we're picking issues that we don't necessarily all agree on, but that will have some consensus around and be able to demonstrate to the voters that we're taking on important issues and we're coming up with substantive solutions.
What actions, if any, would you consider taking to address the current concerns related to the critical energy infrastructure hub on the Willamette?
So I've learned a lot running for City Council, and the CEI hub is something I was cognizant of, but never really spent much time thinking about. And I think it is the single largest threat to the people in the future, people of Portland and the future of Portland. And I will commit to, I think it should be moved. I don't think it should be on reclaimed land along the riverfront. And I think we need to come up with a plan that, and maybe it's a long-term plan, but that ultimately eliminates the threat that it currently poses to way too many people in Portland. If we're ever have an earthquake or any other kind of major crisis, that's just going to make it exponentially worse.
Mm-hmm. You're listening to the Video Voters Guide from the League of Women Voters of Portland, or you may be listening on podcast. And I'm here with Mike Marshall, who is running for Portland City Council District 2. Mike, are you satisfied with the performance of the Joint Office of Homeless Services? And if not, what changes would you support? And then please explain.
Right. So, no, I don't think any of us are satisfied with the lack of pace to deal with our homeless problem. I don't support getting rid of the joint office. I think we need more collaboration, not less. But I think that it needs to they need to be more ambitious, to be perfectly honest. They identified we needed 3,000 shelter beds to get us out of the current situation, and then immediately announced a plan to get 1,000. And we're going to meet that 1,000, but we're gonna get that 1,000 and then still not be successful. And so I think we need solutions that meet the moment, the magnitude of the moment. I also think that the city needs to have a larger say. And I think we should also look at the resources that are going exclusively into the joint office and thinking if they can't, some of those resources wouldn't be better spent going directly to the city.
What skills, experience, and interests distinguish you from the other candidates?
So two, number one, as I said, I'm in long-term recovery from addiction. And so I bring a lived experience and a cognizance of what it takes to get people off the streets and into recovery. I'm a recovering meth addict. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I think that that's an important perspective to have. Also my policy background. And then the other thing that I would share is that this new system of government needs people who understand systems change and democratic systems change. And when the Berlin Wall came down 30 years ago, I went off and worked for the National Democratic Institute over the years, over a 5-year period of time in 20 different countries, working on democratic development programs and seeing early democratic change systems, and whether they were successful or not depended on how committed the people first elected into them were to making them successful and making them operate effectively. And so I have a really unique perspective that most other people don't have.
Thank you, Mike. This concludes our video voters guide or podcast interview of Mike Marshall running for Portland City Council District 2. Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. Thank you for your interest and please do vote.